Good morning. Here we are on day 88. I can't believe it. 88 days of video. I'm like so high-fiving myself. I can't believe that I'm doing it, and I'm doing it. So today what I want to talk about is how to fall in love with your resistance. So I posted yesterday that I was actually feeling my own resistance because, oh, I don't have a hair tie. I was feeling my own resistance because I put other people's stuff first and I didn't meditate first, and that really put me out of whack. And when we feel resistance is a natural state. So in today's video, I want to talk about how do you fall in love with your resistance, because when you realize that resistance is actually keeping you alive, right now. So right now I'm feeling some resistance because there's a guy out in the yard with a weed whacker, right? And it's kind of noisy, and I'm feeling resistance, and I'm feeling like I want to move, and I'm just going to go with it because, you know, he's doing his thing. He's beautifying the neighborhood. And is it loud? Yeah, it is kind of loud. So I'll just lean in a little bit. So here's what I want to talk about with your resistance. Resistance is actually keeping you alive. Your resistance, my resistance, is what is keeping this table on the ground. It's what's keeping my bones in my body. It's what's keeping you from flying off the earth, right? Gravity is a form of resistance that's actually keeping us here. And everything has polarity, right? Everything has lightness and heaviness. It has expansiveness and it has contraction. And in fact, that very force is what allows the blood to circulate in your body. Your heart waits for a particular amount of resistance, and then it knows, okay, squeeze, and then it's going to send the blood through your body. So resistance is, by its very nature, keeping you safe. It's keeping you alive, and it's also creating the impulse from within for you to take action. Now, when we're sitting in resistance, it is super duper uncomfortable. And I've been feeling a lot of resistance lately, just in the last day. I don't even know what it's about. And my husband keeps saying, well, why do you feel it? From my perspective, I don't even need to know why, right? Because it's a natural state. There's no reason to fight it. And often when we fight it, that's when it gets really, really uncomfortable. So what does resistance feel like for you? It's going to be different for every one of us. For me, I know that I feel it a lot in my solar plexus. I feel it a lot like somebody just punched me in the stomach. And last night I was lying in bed awake, just going into the sensation and being really curious about, what does this feel like? And where does this feeling begin and where does it end? Is there an edge? Is there a color? Is there a texture? And I got to a realization that that feeling of I can't take in anymore, right? And that often arises for us when we do too much, when we give too much away. That feeling of I can't take in anymore, that feeling of it's almost like a burning, it's like a physical pain. You know, I got to this place of feeling like it was this thing that was expanding from within me, rather than a shrinking. Like I got through it to the other side of, oh, it's expanding. What is it wanting to tell me? So one of the things that is really interesting about your resistance is that you can actually go through it, go into the pain, go into the discomfort, and go right into the middle of it. And all of a sudden it just dissolves. And that's what I discovered, is like I sat with it because I was so uncomfortable. And I knew, and I know, that every time I feel it, I'm right on the edge of a breakthrough. And that is super exciting, right? It's like the chicken getting ready to come out of the egg, or the butterfly getting ready to come out of the cocoon. And the cocoon is actually creating this container that it's like pushing against so it can expand and spread its wings. And when we're feeling that, rather than shrinking and giving up and numbing out in some way, whether it's, you know, I'm going to turn on the TV, or I'm going to drink, or I'm going to smoke, or I'm going to whatever, I don't know, whatever people's resistance is, whatever they do when they feel resistance, right? But people do have certain behaviors that they take to try to avoid the feeling. I just want to invite you to go into it and see if you can, you know, like you're a a dinosaur hunter, and like you found this really awesome ancient bone in you buried, and see if you can find the contours of it. Like use a toothbrush and so gently remove the sand around it so that you can discover what are the edges. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Is it velvet, or is it thorn, or is it watery, or is it like ice crystals? Give yourself an opportunity to be super curious and super imaginative. If you were going to draw it, how would it look? And you're going to find that there's a way through. The other thing I want to say about resistance is that it comes from the Latin word sist, which means to stand. And when you're in resistance because you are taking a stand for something. And you're taking a stand for something you've never taken a stand for before. And the reason that you feel resistance is because you're actually not taking a stand. And there's this part of you inside that's like, come on, let's take a stand for this. Let's take action for this. Let's go for what we want. Let's speak our truth. Let's create what we want. So I want to share with you what I take a stand for. And what I take a stand for, you all know this already, I take a stand for you living in your truth. What that means is that you stopping pretending to be small. I stopped pretending to be small a few years ago, and this is the result. I'm not playing small anymore. And do I get scared? Yeah, of course I do. But my fear is expanding directly in proportion to my visibility. So I take a stand for speaking truth. I take a stand for being in my authenticity and in my integrity. I take a stand for being congruent, for walking my talk, for showing up every day, whether or not I want to. Because the reality is there are days where I don't feel like it. And today I didn't feel like it. So you know what I did? First I did my gratitude practice. That was awesome. Then I made out with my dog. That was awesome. Then I made out with my husband. That was awesome. Then I took a cold shower. That was awesome. Then I meditated for half an hour. That was awesome. And I filled myself with things that manage my energy, that fill me with energy, that give me enthusiasm, literally bringing God into me so that I can show up and do the work I'm here to do. And so I take a stand for you doing that too. I take a stand for you doing whatever you need to do so that you can take the next action that is going to get you to the next step on whatever it is that you are becoming. Because the reality is you're becoming it anyway. And you can kind of tiptoe around and do a jillion switch turns, switch backs, and it's going to take you forever to get there. Or you can just take the action step, blast through, do the thing that scares you because you're taking a stand for you showing up in a bigger way. So that said, there's the weed whacker guy again, right? Opportunity to just practice mindfulness and notice, right? Be grateful that the guy's out there beautifying the yard and I don't have to do it. So, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So about your resistance. So last night we had this awesome live teleclass that was about resistance, and it was called something like "Get Off Your Butt" or "Get your head out of your butt" or something like that. And it had to do with the excuses that you make, like "but I can't afford it," or "but I'm afraid," or "but I don't know how." And I offered you all $300 towards the investment of that program, and I guarantee you that if you do it, you will have results. And I also offer a money-back guarantee, so there's really nothing that you can lose by not taking action. So why not take action? If you want to get part of that, you can just scroll on this page, because somewhere you're going to find a link to register for that class, and I'll be sending out a replay. If you're on the list, you've already gotten a replay, and then all you have to do is just click and get started. And actually, you can get started for as little as $67. So it is a total no-brainer. If you're feeling resistance and you're like, Deborah, how do I get out of my resistance? I'm offering you a super easy peasy way. And I'm going to wrap this up because the weed whacker dude is right behind me. So have an awesome day, and let me know what you're taking a stand for. I'm here to support you. I'm here to encourage you, and we're all in this together. I've shown up in the last couple of days with my resistance, and you know what? Big deal. Resistance is part of this human condition, and thank goddess we have resistance so that we can all be here. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. And by the way, today is day 88. 88. That is a double infinity sign. Super powerful day. Have a great one.